Hello, hello. Welcome to another Unique Couple Sunday Night Live. And it is great to see each and every one of you. Go ahead, go ahead. If you are here watching live, hashtag Live Squad in the comments. If you're watching the replay, let us know. Replay. And if you have any questions or comments, let us know. And we definitely want to hear your takeaways. I am Linda Wright Patrick. My husband Vito and I, we are the founders of Unique Couples, and we are happy to bring you Unique Couples Sunday Night Live, where we talk everything love, marriage, and even the things that you have to relate to as it relates to parenting. So, and everything in between. So, thank you for joining us. And if you have not done so already, go ahead and share. Let someone know that we are live. And we love to do that. I love to help. So, sharing for me is like second nature. We share to help because you never know who needs the information. And it's good to have these types of conversations so that we can really truly be able to help other people. And so today I'm excited about our topic and our guests. So we're talking about schools in. Most of us here have at one point or the other been in education or in the classroom. And so we know what we're talking about. So school's in. Now what? We want, and we know that we have challenges in the classroom. We have challenges as teachers, as educators, administrators, even as parents. We have challenges. So we are going to look at those challenges today and find proactive solutions to really help you and your children. And then for those of you in the classroom, definitely help you as you go throughout this year. We want to make it the best year ever. So I have some special guests with me. And I think two are on my island and one is somewhere else. We're all in the Bahamas, but they will definitely get to introduce themselves. We have, yeah, the glasses isn't working. We have um, let's start with Valencia. She is a parent and she will definitely be addressing the challenges that parents face and offering some proactive solutions. And so, Valencia, we're so happy to have you here with us on Unique Couple Sunday Night Live. Go ahead and let our audience know a little about you, who you are, what you do.
All right, good evening, everybody. So, like she said, my name is Valencia Hepburn. I am a certified educator by profession. I left the traditional classroom just 2 short years ago, and now I am homeschooling. And so I have a lot of experience as a teacher and also as a parent, just focusing now on my children. It is a pleasure to be here. I love what you all do at Unique Couples, and I'm excited to share.
Yay. Awesome. Loving what you do as well. I see Valor Girls Club, awesome children's ministry leader, and all of these different things. Thank you so much. And of course, these are some links that you could go ahead and reach Valencia. We'll share it at the end as well. Okay. And we have teacher extraordinaire. I remember the first time going into her fourth grade classroom, and she had it rocking. Like those kids were really excited about learning. And I remember sitting there spellbound myself because there was some mystery person. I don't know if you remember that. Some mystery person that these children were supposed to meet. And I was here caught in the mystery as well, waiting, like, who's this person? At any moment I expected someone to come through the door. But no, it was all in the lesson. And they were excited to meet this person who was, I think it was grammar at that time, who was helping them with their grammar lesson. And so it was just so exciting. And she uses her talents in her classroom, and she also makes that available for other people as well. So that is indeed great. Let them know all about you. Wilkeisha, introduce yourself, who you are, what you do. I hope I didn't give away too much.
Just a little bit. Good night, everyone. My name is Wilkeisha Bevans, and I am currently a fourth grade teacher at Bartlett Hill Primary School. I've been teaching on several islands around the Bahamas, ready to go to more. And I have taught for the past 14 years in grades 3, 4, 5, and 6. I am a mom to one beautiful baby boy. I am a lover of animals and a lover of all things creative.
Awesome, awesome. I didn't know about the baby boy. Didn't know about the baby boy. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Awesome, awesome. So thanks for joining us and sharing on your experience as we go through this evening. And then, of course, we have Gia Walker. She is no stranger, my pilot sister, no stranger at all. She has been on and sharing in our community before, and we're so happy to have her here. So she's been in the classroom, she's been, a whole lot of different places, administrator, principal, now at one of our schools here in Grand Bahama, and she is my good friend. So go ahead, Mistress Walker, Gia, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Good evening, everyone. Yes, I am Chia Walker. I have been in education for 32 years and I do enjoy it, working with primary school age children. That's from preschool all the way up to grade 6. And I've been in several administrative positions, and currently I serve as the principal at Freeport Primary School.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. So I heard, was that 32 years?
Yes.
Wow. We haven't even arrived there as yet. But anyway, 32 years. How long has it been for you, Valencia? How many years have you actually put in to the classroom as a teacher?
That would be from 2009. And I worked in the classroom during college, but officially with my degree would be from 2009.
Okay. And you, Wilkeisha?
14.
Yes. Okay. Okay. So someone do the math, put the number in the comments. Let us know how many years we have. I don't even want to say my years, but it has gone into 20 something. So yeah, it's been that long. And it has been wonderful working with our children. And because of the work I did with the children and continue to do with the children, I realized that, hey, our children come with so much. They come with baggage, like baggages of emotional, of trauma, of parents arguing, of parents fighting, of parents not being together, of separation issues. Like so much is going on. And then we have them in the classroom and we expect them to learn. But hey, I didn't get a good sleep last night, or better yet, I didn't have anything to eat this morning. So it's like so much issues that the children are facing. And because I realized that, hey, this is definitely a cycle, because if our children have problems and they're not addressed, this leads to them growing up as adults who will now have conflict and problems and don't know how to relate to each other. And then they end up having children, and then the cycle just continues. And so because of being around kids so much, I realized that, hey, we need to work with the children, but we also need to work with the parents to make sure that they are doing what they need to do and what's in their power to do to make sure that they are being effective and helping our children, because they're all our children. Because when they do well, it's going to affect us as a country, as a nation. It's going to affect us, the world. And when they don't, it's going to destroy our communities. It will destroy, because some of them will be your children's friend or the person who may or may not rob you when you try to get into your house. So it all impacts us. So we're talking about school is in. And for some of us, we got in too early. But anyway, school is in. What do we do now? And some of the challenges that I might have mentioned before, we see our government and stakeholders trying to do things to help address those. But of course, there are still things that we need to work on. So let's start with Valencia. What do you see from a parent standpoint, because you're homeschooling your two boys? What do you see as some of the challenges parents are facing? You can let us know a challenge that they are facing. And if you have a solution, you can let us know that as well. So let's look at challenge parents may be facing now that school is in.
All right. One of the challenges that I see parents facing, and this was from having worked with grade one straight up to grade six, is supporting their children or helping their children with schoolwork, homework, projects seems to be the biggest struggle. And I get it because our children give more respect to their teacher than they do to us. And I've, initially I used to get so agitated with parents. I'm like, why can't they help their children and all of that? And then I just realized one day, many of them just do not know how. No one teaches you how to help your child with homework. And coming from, and that's my 5-year-old, coming from an
Hi,
environment
Nathan.
where, where we just had to do it, and our children live in a different world. We give them the devices, they have so many distractions and everything else, and so it's just not the same. And so one of the things that you want me to give the solution now?
Yes, you could go ahead. Yep.
All right, awesome. And so one of the things, well, a few things that I learned along the way was that helping our children does not always have to be so formal. Homework does not have to be done sitting at the table. If they are comfortable sitting on the floor, they can do it on the floor. When I had my 10-year-old, we went into a psychologist. I just wanted to know like better ways that I could help him and things like that. And one of the things she said was, we expect our children to sit down and just do, a bunch of homework or practice work or schoolwork one time. And she said, set the timer for 5 minutes. And every 5 minutes, they can ride their scooter in the house or roll a ball or, whatever the thing is that your child likes for 2 minutes. And then they have to come back at it. And so, doing things like that. It could be practicing spelling or math. If you live, close to the waters, going on the beach and doing it in the sand. It doesn't always have to be so formal that it becomes a struggle, not only for the child, but for the parent. And so let's take that load off of us and just think creatively. Pinterest has loads of ideas. You can go on Pinterest, you go on YouTube, and just think of creative ways that we can help our children without having to be so formal all the time.
Oh, I love that. And if you ladies, if you want to chime in on this particular problem, offering a solution for parents, that would be fine as well. So you can just let us know. Yeah, that's true. And even as a teacher, you may find yourself struggling with it. And hey, you're a parent as well. And so the problems parents face would be some, kind of for you as well. And so that is definitely a good point about, being able to assist with homework and projects and all of these different things. That is definitely a problem parents would face. So solutions, anybody else want to chime in on some solutions for that? And okay, go ahead.
I agree with Miss Valencia. Good job, because there are so many resources out there that parents can actually tap into. And when I do give my students their homework, I always tell them, because a lot of them do come back without it completed, and they said no one is there to help them. And it's not. I don't think it's 100%. The parent just doesn't want to help. A lot of time they don't know the information and they don't know how to tell their child that they don't know how to do it. But so I like your approach to it with going and finding out ways to better help your child. Awesome.
Yeah, yeah. So those short spans of time will definitely be great, right?
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. So those of you who are watching us, if you have any solutions, if you are experiencing any problems or know of any problems that parents, teachers, and administrators are facing, go ahead and put it in the comments, and we'll be sure to get to it. Yeah, I hope I could see those questions. We'll be sure to answer those as we go through. So go ahead and put your comments or questions in the chat. Okay, so let's pause now and just look at teachers. So teachers are in the classroom now. What are some of the challenges, or just give me one, that teachers face in this brand new school year?
Oh boy, there is a plethora of them. But the first one I want to focus on is student engagement. And before I go into that, I just want to point out that these issues are not just isolated to Grand Bahama. They're not just isolated to the Bahamas. When I speak to teachers in different countries, and I'm in a lot of those social media groups with them, they're having the same issues that we're having. And one of those issues is student engagement, basically keeping the kids motivated and engaged in learning. And I know we're accustomed to the chalk and talk. And honestly, when we were in primary school, I don't remember so many stimulating visuals in the classroom. But these kids, they are addicted to it. They crave it. So we have to utilize that tool to make learning fun for them. Basically, I know it sounds cliche, but we do have to make learning fun if we want the kids to be engaged. And just some of the things that I do in my classroom, I'm very big on active learning in my classroom, active learning techniques, getting my kids up, using music, using visual stimulations like video games that I can turn any video game that a parent might say, okay, I don't want you playing Fortnite, but I can show you how Fortnite can help your child with mathematics, how it can help their child with writing persuasively. So we have to use what they like to make learning more fun. So in addition to using active learning techniques, open discussion, I agree with engaging them in topics that are trending right now. There are a lot of topics that they probably see popping up on what's the latest social TikTok. There are some things in there we can
TikTok.
guide them in the right way. Yes, who love listen, on any given day I will just pop up in my classroom with a TikTok dance and it gets their attention. It wakes them up. If my principal were to walk into my classroom one day and see me on top of my desk dancing or doing so, they know that's Wilkeisha. They know that's Miss Bevans because I am really big on active learning. And I started something last year called morning meetings with my students, where every morning we have a discussion. And it has to do with, I want to know what their little minds think. I want to know how I can better help them. So I check in on them. We also do nature walks. That's another way, active learning, right in the back of the school. We have, I think the government gave us a bunch of tablets, so every school should have them. And on any given day, okay, we did science today. Let's go take a picture of some of the plants in the back of the schoolyard. And then we can come back with those images and examine them, do writing pieces and what's not. Um, Another thing I would say to keep our kids engaged are using real life experiences. Last year, I took my students on a math field trip to the grocery store. Yeah, we went to the grocery store, Sawyer's and Lucaya. And for some of them, believe it or not, that was their first time actually at that store. Some of them, that was their first time in the Lucaya area. So, and it was like a Disney World experience to them. So they were able to, yes, we're talking about area and perimeter, we're talking about weight and measurement. And they were actually able to say, okay, let's weigh this watermelon. So they were engaged and they were excited to be able to use an actual scale. Before we went, I asked them to guesstimate what they think a gallon of milk would cost or a loaf of bread. And they were all way off. You hear me? They were thinking like a gallon of milk costs $1, a loaf of bread costs $1. So when they were actually able to go to the store, it brought a real life experience to them. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
So that's another one. And another thing that I actually do is I incorporate a lot of technology into my classroom. I'm big on technology. I absolutely love it. It's the way of the future. I'm not afraid of AI. I'm not afraid
Mhm.
of artificial intelligence. I'm careful with it, and I teach my kids how to be careful with it. But listen, I have two VR goggles in my classroom. That's engaging for the kids. Tomorrow we are about to do um, reptiles. Right now I have an experiment on top of my desk. I'm still looking for a snake and a turtle.
Yeah.
So they are going to go into a virtual reality experience tomorrow with Jurassic Park, because dinosaurs are reptiles as well. I couldn't find a snake, but they will be going into VR tomorrow. I have an Alexa. I have two Alexas set up in my classroom, and my kids love, instead of coming to me, ask me, Miss Bevans, how do you spell? Okay, sound it out and then go and ask Alexa. And then where that helps as well, they have to be very proper, because Alexa's not going to understand your
Yep.
gibberish or any colloquial, so it forces them to want to speak as proper as possible, because you know how Alexa go. She will not respond to you. And I have karaoke machines, and all of my lessons are PowerPoint presentation related, using, as you see my classroom theme behind me. That's Fortnite, a video game that persons might feel, don't let your kids play Fortnite. Me, we do it all day. It's in my classroom. All right, so let me just pause there, and because I can go on and on and on and on, but I'll pause.
Awesome, awesome. Love it, love it. I told you the kids are totally, totally engaged. So, a problem, lack of engagement, and you just laid it out with what teachers can do to make learning fun and exciting and have the kids engage. All of those juicy, juicy, juicy proactive solutions. And I'm guessing, of course, that you made a lot of investment to make sure, personal investment to make sure that you have these things and are equipped with that. And I'm so happy that the Ministry of Education here in the Bahamas, gave us a little stipend so that we can be able to help with some of the resources that we need. And if it's yearly, that would be awesome, because then some people might say, hey, I don't have any money to do all of that. Yes, Ms. Bevans could do that. She has one child and I don't know what else, but hey, I my hands are tied. I can't do all of that. But all of it is not doesn't require funds, and we could be strategic on how we get them. Right? Yes. Okay, so I saw a question come up just before, so anyone could go ahead and answer this just before we go to Mrs. Walker. And I think the question was, why don't parents attend PTA?
And I can actually take that if you don't mind.
Okay, go ahead.
One of the things that we found when we have general PTA meetings, a lot of times it's not for everyone. It goes back to just how we want our students engaged, we need to make sure that our parents are engaged. So we want to target them specifically for specific areas. So what we did at the start of this school year, and I know several schools would have done it too, we had specific grade level parent meetings. I sat in my preschool and grade 1 parent meeting earlier this week. And of course, everything that the parents needed to know for what was happening for that grade level, right down to books, spelling words, everything for those 2 particular levels was what was shared. So of course, it wasn't anything related to another grade level. So, the parents were like, oh, this is good. So they got information specific to those 2 grade levels. So I think a lot of times, the general meetings are good because we're still going to have our general meeting at the end of the month, but then that's going to be more for school-wide business. But when we do grade level specific parent meetings, the support is much better. The attendance is better. And so that's one area that we're finding that's working, and that's now what we're moving towards. So we've got to keep parents engaged, just how we keep our students engaged.
Yes, definitely, indeed. I love this comment, Diane. Teachers definitely need to be ordained, right? Definitely, because it is a ministry, because you pour so much of yourself into what you do, into the classroom, into these children. It's like, you're their home away from home. And you want to create that space, that community, that connection that they possibly we might not even get at home. So it definitely is a ministry. Okay, so Ms. Walker, you could go ahead. Challenges. Talk to us about challenge administrators may face.
Well, okay, I know for a lot of people, they think September, that's when school opens. So one of the challenges that we do have is not having our students all come in at the end of August when school actually opened. The mindset is, oh, school doesn't open until September, and people really aren't ready to send their children to school until September. So I know in a lot of instances, the population, is growing slowly. We still have parents who say they're getting their children ready, but we like to encourage them, send them, don't wait. Learning starts on day 1. We started on August the 28th, and at 9:15, 9:30, I can guarantee you lessons began. So you don't want your child to miss anything. So we say, whatever it is, send your child to school. We part of the administrative job is to reach out to stakeholders in the community, and we've got lots of persons that are helping us. So if it's things like school materials, school supplies, books, we've got partners, community partners, that they're willing to help. Even as far as food, breakfast, like you're saying. I mean, I can boast about the Pilot Club of Wilkeisha. They came on board and they assist with our breakfast program. So don't we don't want you to keep your child home because food, breakfast or lunch may be an issue. We within the school system, we come up with ways that we can make sure that we meet all of the needs of the whole child, and we're feeding their minds and their bodies and, in eventuality, their souls as well. So we want to make sure that, we do whatever it takes in order, within means, in order to make sure that our children are straight. We do what it takes to keep our staff motivated. And as you mentioned, they were able to get their stipends. And so that's made a big difference. And so we've got all this technology and all these awesome classroom setups. It's just a pleasure to walk into a lot of these classrooms. And parents, when you get a chance and an opportunity to come into the schools, you're going to see the effort, the time, and the talent that your teachers have really put into making your child's learning experience an awesome one.
Awesome, awesome. So I just want to backtrack just in case any parent on might have missed it. But you're saying if they're having challenges with whether it's uniform, book supplies for their children, that they can let the school know. Don't just stay home and just wait for something
Right.
to fall out of the sky. They need to let someone know.
Right.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes, different schools have different partners. Like I say, I can speak specifically to mine because I know that's who they are. But we all have persons that we can reach out to. Our community people, urban renewal comes to mind. Even our local police officers, they have entities, bodies that reach out to schools and help whatever the needs are. Banks, they're always making donations. So you'd be surprised at where the assistance comes from. So reach out to the school, the teachers, ultimately the administrators and guidance counselors. And trust me, we're going to be able to get some assistance for you.
Okay. And I know a challenge some parents might face would be, well, I don't want nobody to know my business. Pride, a lot of pride will come into, I don't have it, but I don't necessarily want to go ahead and ask or let anybody know that I'm having challenges. So how can you reassure, anyone can address this question, how can we reassure our parents, those who are struggling, that they can make it known, they can come to us, we will be confidential, and we will be able to help them? How can we kind of give them that level of comfort?
You just said it, those same words, and that's what we say all the time. You come, for the most part, administrators we're on the campus in the morning. So if you need to pull us aside, whisper to us. We're all of our government schools, public schools, we're on Facebook. So if you need to, send a private message, that works too. Teachers have, what do you call them? Platforms that they reach out to their parents with. And I know that parents do reach out to the teachers on a personal level through social media and the various learning platforms as well. So there is a variety of ways that you can reach out, if first to the teacher and then to administration.
Okay, awesome. Okay, I hope the parents are hearing. Good evening, everyone. Welcome. We are still here at Unique Couples Sunday Night Live. And since we are back to schools, and we decided to have that conversation about the challenges parents, teachers, and administrators are facing, and we are offering proactive solutions, things that you can do now, today, to really help your children, to help yourself, and to help our community. So, Valencia, you could go ahead. If you have another problem that parents face, you can share with us, and then we'll take Wilkeisha and Gia again.
Okay, I just wanted to add something to what Ms. Walker said about parents coming in. I've seen some schools do uniform drives because like you say, parents don't want the people to know their business, and so parents would bring their used, delicately used school uniforms. And then some schools even ask parents that can, just generally, listen, if you could pick up an extra pack of pencils or, whatever it is and bring it to the school. And so that parent will never know who was a recipient of that particular thing, And so and Miss Bevans was saying, your classroom sounds like my classroom. My husband told me one year, I painted my classroom. They sent no paint, and I was like, oh no, that didn't work. And he said to me straight up, the government might as well don't pay you because you can put the money back in the classroom anyway. And I appreciate, you know, the work that you're doing. It takes sacrifice, and but that's what it takes. That's what it takes for our children, because we're not just, you know, building people for good grades in school or for a good show. We're building, you know, future citizens, or building the foundation. And like, you know, Ms. Patrick said, these are the people who may or may not, you know, there might be the girl that my son decides to bring home. And so, and I don't know who I'm helping in the process. But when in terms of another problem, I think we've kind of covered it, but with parents reaching out to teachers when there is an issue. I've seen so many times where things go home, and, you know, being in a school here where it's a very, very small community, by the time you get to put your hand on the situation, it's completely different. The whole community has a different story about it. And so I would encourage parents, if there is an issue, please go to the teacher first, because many times, many times, what came home is not the exact story. And by the time it's already gone out there, and, you know, it becomes a whole thing, when it is cleared up, nobody's going back to, you know, to clean up. And it causes, you know, sometimes it even causes the children, the way that they now see their teacher or relate to staff and the other students has now shifted, simply because there was a misunderstanding or something that could have just been cleared up with parent and teacher, administrator if need be, has now become a bigger problem. And then now that sets us even further in closing this gap, and all of the engagement that we're talking about. So parents, go directly to teachers when there is an issue, respectfully.
Awesome. Love, love, love that advice. Definitely know that that could be a issue. Okay. Bevans.
Miss Valencia, definitely. Thank you so much for saying that, because um, I want my parents to know that they're your kids, but I am their second mom. So I really do care. And I noticed that a lot of schools today, they are putting a lot of programs in place to make sure these needs are met. And that brings me to my next point. A problem that I see that is very grave is the social and emotional needs of our children. I think that's a big ill. The social emotional needs of kids, if they're not being met, then it's very difficult to deliver content to a child. A hungry child can't learn. An abused child will not be focused in your classroom. It's very difficult. I have had the awful experience of seeing children crying from hunger pains, you know, during first period, and it's difficult to continue pushing content when that child is hungry, although that child has needs. So I know a lot of educators in this field. We do empathize with these children, and I want to encourage checking in on them. So the solutions that I would suggest for that is prioritizing students' mental health and their well-being. I think it's extremely important, because emotional intelligence is equally as important to me teaching them that pi is 3.142. I think it's equally as important. Okay, and when kids feel like you care about them, you get more out of them, right?
Mhm.
You get a whole lot more out of them. They trust you, they talk to you, they hang on your every word, because I can tell a child something and their parent can tell them something different, and I promise you what I say is going to trump what you say, because they hang on my every word. That's the power that I have as an educator, and I love it. Okay. And some children come to school with the whole weight of the world on their shoulders.
Mhm.
They're taking care of their younger siblings, and they have people just some of them are not coming from gentle homes. Some of them are being 5 and 6 years old, and they have the responsibility of a grown adult. This responsibility that I didn't even have until I was like in college, and it's
Mhm.
sad, because like I said, I've seen children crying from hunger pain. I've had children show up in my classes with literal bruises. I've had lessons that I'm teaching where children blurt out, or they reveal that they're being sexually abused, and then I have children, just showing up to school crying uncontrollably. We have to be sensitive to things like
Mhm.
that. Even during the pandemic, one of the things I prayed for while my kids were home is that no one is touching them, because, and then, at when they were on that pandemic break too, a lot of them who depended on the lunch program, they weren't receiving it. So it was a lot. So the emotional and learning needs of our children must be met. We have to be sensitive towards it. We have to check in. Remember, I said every morning I have a morning meeting with my children. I
Mhm.
ask them how they're doing, and they tell me, how you feeling today. We have a quote of the day. I actually have a conversation with my children every single morning, to check in on their emotional well-being. Because if you look on social media and some of these foreign forums, some of these adults, they really lack emotional intelligence, and it shows big time. All right, thank you.
Yep. And definitely an inability to express themselves. So
Yes.
having that morning meeting, with your children would definitely help them to be able to express themselves and to be able to speak and say what their feelings are, what they're going through. Because a lot of adults don't have that. A lot of adults aren't loving themselves the way that they need to love themselves. So then that is definitely affecting their relationship, affecting how they relate to their children as well. Okay, so this is a question. Thanks, Valencia. How do we as educators address tardiness and chronic absenteeism? Someone can tackle that. The red tape is massive. Many students fall through the cracks. May have been, this might have been addressed earlier. I don't think we spoke about this, but if anyone wants to talk about this just before we go to Mrs. Walker, the questions just seem to come just right in time for you, Gio.
That's fine. That's fine. One of the things, we have several entities within the school that are available to help with that. First that comes to mind is the guidance counselors. They've always been in the school. They're the ones who would follow up, when the student, after the teacher, of course, if we haven't seen a child for 2 days without hearing from the parent, they're the ones who are going to follow up, well, what's happening, let's, find out, get in contact with the parent, find out what's happening. We're now fortunate. I think most of the public schools also have attendance officers
Mhm.
who are specifically on the job for following up with those students who we do not see. And I've actually heard conversations and sat in the room where my attendance officer, she's like, what's happening? I haven't seen so and so for 2 days. Is everything all right? Do you need a uniform? Do you need, what are your needs? That type of thing. So the personnel are now in place to help in those areas. And what was the other thing? Absenteeism. Well, once we find out what the needs are and we're able to help to solve them, then that cuts down on them staying away from school. So we're finding that our numbers are getting better, and they're staying up because we've got more persons who are on the job, so to speak, in order to make sure that our children get in school and stay in school.
Yes. Is it a lore, or remind me of exactly what it is that makes it like all of our children have to be in school? So the parents, you can just, hey,
Oh,
decide
yeah.
to
Any
keep your
child
child
between
home because we
5
want
and
to.
14 years old has to be in school.
By
Okay.
Okay, so
law.
that's
Mhm.
yeah, that's the law right
That's
there.
the law.
Okay, so therefore, it's good that we now have, like I say, personnel, because a lot of times that was, the thing. The teacher is busy in the classroom teaching the rest of the students, and whereas I can use Bevans because I know her, she's going to follow up. I haven't seen so and so for a day, if she's still got a class to deal with, she can't possibly follow up the way she would like to. So therefore, when we have our guidance counselors in place and we have our attendance officers, that helps to make sure that those children are actually in school.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. So
And
share
let
with
me
us.
just add,
Okay.
sorry.
Go ahead, Bevins, and then Jean.
I think the ministry, we also have truancy officers that visit the homes, because I've had that last year where, like Miss Walker say, we handed over to the guidance counselor and the principals. Every as soon as we log those attendances on the LMS. The principals can see it right away. They could see everything. The record is right there. Then the truancy, and they go knocking. The ministry sends them knocking on the door because by law, and the Constitution says, and the parent could be brought before the court if those children are at home for a period of time without good reason.
Okay, go ahead, Valencia.
All right, so I am so glad to know that these things are in place. But where I am, in the communities that I am, where I live, and the community further south where I taught from 2009, we have no guidance counselor, we have no truancy officer, we have none of those things. And so we literally would just have to find the child's house. I mean, which, would be not that far away. And so even for those teachers that may have to do that, I would say in good wisdom, of course, take a witness, take a responsible, whether it's a local pastor or sometimes my principal was able to, contact the local police officer and they would go by. But in some cases, teachers and administrators have to hop in their vehicle or walk to a student's house to find out what is happening. And we have had to do that so many times.
Wow.
Yeah, if I can put a plug in here real quick, that's what the members of the community are for, particularly the church. I can speak to the Grand Bahama Christian Council. I know personally persons like Minister Mary Russell. She would have actually come on board with us with one or two other persons from the Christian Council perspective, and we went looking for certain children. So whereas perhaps, like you're saying, some schools may not have guidance counselors or attendance officers, the community, the church is always saying, what can we do to help? So I thought that was real love in action, or, Christian action, when she came on board and she's like, okay, Mrs. Walker, let's go. Who are these children? Who are we going looking for? And we actually went looking for some persons. So we can, those, you pull in your community, your stakeholders. That's the type of thing we talk about.
Definitely love it. So it's like, hey, whatever you have to do, like it may require a little bit of a sacrifice. We have to get the children. I tell my kids and their parents, and they laugh at me when I say, like, no, sixth grader left behind. I know they're looking at me like, Miss Patrick is just so crazy. Yes, we don't want any of them left behind. We don't want any of our children left behind for whatever reason. And we want to create those safe spaces for them where they want to come to school, whatever is happening at home, let them feel like Ms. Bevans said, let them feel that the safety, the connection, all of that in our classroom so that they would want to. And for some of them, school might be the escape from all of the drama that is happening. So we need to be that. Okay, so go ahead. We're about to wrap up. This has been, if you have any last words, you can also share that after Ms. Walker is finished. But let's go and get another challenge that administrators are facing and how we could look at solutions for that problem.
The same technology that we use in other areas, I'd like to share for parents to use too. Teachers, the phone, we all have phones. Let's be real. So it was mentioned earlier, some parents don't know how to help their children. A lot of times teachers, when communicating with parents, they want to be tactful about it. Everything you can Google. That's what I like to say. Hey, Google it. So just how we send our children to their devices to get information, I feel that one of the things that we could do as adults is to get information too. No, we may not know all of the answers, or we may not know how to deal with the situation, but that's what our devices are there for. So I would like to encourage, a lot of times it's like, well, what can we do, or how can I, we've got all of the questions, we don't have the solutions, but if you pick up your phone, a lot of times we could Google it and actually come up with some solutions to a lot of these problems. So while technology, technology is good, so I wouldn't say that while it has its good, but it has its place in every area of life. So that's one of the things I like to encourage adults to do, because it's like, how, you come up, this is wrong, or how can we fix this, or, it's a lot, it really is, but you'd be surprised if you take, a couple of minutes and you check online, we'd be able to pull some solutions, and we could alter it to what our situation is, and that would make a difference.
Awesome, awesome. Technology
Yeah.
to the rescue.
Mhm.
Okay, so any final words before we wrap up? Let us know if any advice or final words that you have for parents, teachers, or administrators. You can share that at this time. I'm not sure if we had any more takeaways. You can put those up if we had any, and if we missed any, I'll be sure to respond to them. So those of you who are watching, go ahead and put your takeaways. What stood out for you? And I'll just say my takeaway now before I forget. It's definitely just us being there. I love the ministry. I love the God. What did what she said again? That teachers are ordained, right? I love it. And then, of course, what Bevan said about creating that space and making sure our kids are taken care of emotionally as well. That is definitely something important that we must do. Even if we need to go in the community, is right, Valencia, to go look for the children. We do our part to make sure that it happens. And I'm so glad that administrators are working to make sure that that happens for um, our communities, and you have stakeholders who are just there. So parents, if you need help, don't sit home. Reach out, connect. There are people who are here to help you. Okay, so any final words for our parents, teachers, and administrators? You can go ahead and share.
All right, parents, it is okay to put the phone down. I know Miss Bevans talked about the children being addicted. If we be honest, we addicted too, right? Many of us are addicted, right? And so it's okay to put the phone down. It's okay to hug your children. It's okay to ask for help. It
Mhm.
is okay to decide to be a different parent than maybe you were exposed to. It is okay to reach out to your child's teacher. It is okay. Put pride aside. People are willing to help you. And let me tell you something, sitting on both sides of the fence as an educator and as a parent, your teachers love your children. They
Mhm.
absolutely love your children. And so, parents, that alone is enough to just release and just work along with your teachers, administrators for the best because we all want the best for the children. So, it's okay. It's okay.
Awesome. Love that. Love that. Okay, go ahead, Wilkeisha.
I want to say something to my fellow educators. Um, yeah, these problems do arise. Problems are just there, but I just want to encourage you to just to stay flexible and stay adaptable because the only constant in education is change. And Dorian and COVID, they each taught us harsh lessons and how the norms can change in the blink of an eye. So our ability to adapt to those changes is the key to our success and our student success. So stay flexible, stay adaptable. We got this. We got this.
Adopt, adopt, adopt.
But the
That's
adage
it.
says it takes a village to raise a child, and that's the truth. So we are all in this together. And I like that we were able to put all of the perspectives together as a parent, teacher, and of course administration. And we do what we can to make sure, that we get the job done. There will be challenges.
Mhm.
And one of the beautiful things in life is the way we face our challenges and overcome our challenges. And so, in order to make the school environment a better place, as they come, we're going to do what we have to do to make sure that our educational institutions are the best.
Yes, yes. And let's face it, like it's a reality. We will have challenges. We
Mhm.
will have problems, but we can do things to really help and address those issues. And bringing all of the perspectives together, I have to go back to the community and the importance of family. So, we're talking about parents and teachers and administrators and all of us working together because if we don't, we are going to end up with a society that is just haywire. Parents, these children that we are, that are in our classrooms having challenges, and then they're adults and they're marrying or maybe not marrying someone, and all of the complications and things that happen as a result of that with their relationships, and multi-parenting, and all of that trauma. And I think a lot of that has to do with how we as individuals and how we feel about ourselves. And so if you're a parent, you're a teacher, administrator, it doesn't matter. We have to start from the position of love, loving ourselves. And when we do that, we will have so much more to give and be open to give to others. So if you haven't joined our 21-day love challenge as yet, the link is in the comments. Go ahead and join us, because a healthy society starts with healthy individuals, and we need to be healthy to make that happen. So go ahead and connect with us on that. Um, and I see Diane said some teachers are doctors, nurses, lawyers, pastors, mothers, fathers too. Your students, you all are everything. Yes, and the list goes on and on. We could definitely put some more descriptions, some roles in that, in those that you put in, because teachers do a whole lot. And we really want to make sure that none of our children are left behind, that they have these safe communities, that they could come to us if they're having challenges. And we did not bring the student perspective, but I'm so glad that each of you kind of touch on it. But yes, we sometimes have to really, like those morning meetings, get into and then what Valencia had said she did, seeing a psychologist, get into the space where we see it from the child's point of view. And so maybe the homework doesn't get done at home, but the homework could still get done. Like, you don't have to give that 0, right? Yeah, they could stay in at break time or do it before, because of whatever situation that they are facing. And so parents, make sure you reach out and definitely get the help that you need. And that's for everyone, right? Help is always available, whether it's challenges with your children, whether it's challenges individually, or with your marriage or relationships, or how you deal with family members, or whatever it is. Help is always available. Never feel as if you are all alone, and never feel as if there is no one available to help. Reach out and connect. And speaking about reach out, I almost forgot this. Let our audience know how they can get in touch with you, how they can reach out. I think Valencia, you provided some. I don't know if I could put it in, but in the comments. Okay, so we can get that put in the comments. Valencia's contacts. You can go ahead, let us know how people can reach out to you, because I know, you're homeschooling your kids, but you're still doing some other stuff as well. What help do you offer humanity as a whole? So everyone could share that.
Okay, and so it's so interesting that you asked me to, present as a parent, because that was basically the entire idea behind my YouTube channel, Happy Island Life. It just basically shows how we do life here without all the conveniences of city life, without a whole lot of money, and we just do fun things together as a family. So Happy Island Life is our YouTube channel, our family YouTube channel. I'm on Facebook, Valencia Hebburn. And also, I'm hosting a scholarship fair on this Thursday for senior high school students, parents, community stakeholders, youth leaders. We have a lot of college fairs, which is good. But if we have the college fair, we got to know how to fund it. And so we're having a scholarship fair. We have reps from University of the Bahamas, Life with Key Foundation, Global Advisors Network. And I know that I'm missing somebody, and we're going to have prizes and giveaways. And so if you go to my Facebook, I'll put the link in the chat. You'll see the flyer for that. And that is this Thursday. So it's a good opportunity for our students.
And that will be virtual, right?
Yes, it's virtual.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. So reach out, connect with Valencia. You can find her on Facebook as Valencia Hebburn as well. So if you missed any of the links, you can find her, and we'll also put the links in the comments. So if you're on YouTube or Facebook, you should still be able to get access to those links. Okay. Yes. Okay. Wilkeisha, I'm going to see what Marcia is saying. Okay. Awesome time spent with you all. She's excited and elated. A great job. Yes. Yes. Oh, that's your teacher. No, that was your teacher. Marcia Williams. She is there praising you, and her principal, Ms. Walker. Oh, and her friend Linda. Wow. Marcia, you just like wrapping that all up. No, everyone. Okay, so go ahead, Ms. Bevans. Let us know. I know you're doing some paid teachers, because you're all into technology, and it's awesome, beautiful work that you're doing, and that you do And some teachers may be like, well, I'm not the creative type. I don't know how to do that. What can you offer and what do you offer to help?
Well, my motto is it's time to inspire. And my whole thing is just to inspire teachers to just just enjoy education and get your kids to enjoy it. So you can follow me on my Teacher's Corner. That's my Facebook page where I share ideas. I try to just be an inspiration just to get you geared up and just energized and want to do some creative things. And I also have a Teachers Pay Teacher store where I do some of the work for you. You just download it. And the Math Students Companion, it's a math study book that I created. I also have a Facebook page there as well.
Awesome, awesome. Didn't I say help is always available? So help is
Always.
available. You can definitely get it. So go ahead, reach out to Valencia, reach out to Wilkeisha, and get the help and connection that you need. And speaking about connection, Mrs. Walker has all of this positive energy and vibes on her page. So you follow her on Facebook, and you will get more of that. So go ahead, and
Facebook,
share.
on LinkedIn, I'm as Gia Walker. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so you could also follow her on LinkedIn as well. Okay, so that is great. Thank you so much, ladies, for sharing, for really impacting the lives of parents, teachers, and administrators. We hope that those of you who are watching, whether it's live or the replay, you can use this all year round. Go ahead and share with someone. We're all about sharing, we're all about improving because guess what? This world does not lack. If you come with a lack mentality, you will feel as if Valencia can do something and will Keisha be in her corner doing something while Gia is in her corner doing something. That's a lack mentality. When you believe in abundance, you know that, hey, we could all be doing what we're doing, and there's over 8 billion people in the world, and it could impact and it could be for someone. So let's share to help because people are out there, they're hurting, they need help, they need inspiration, and we can be that. And even if it's just you sharing that button, go ahead and share Unique Couples and this session tonight. I had fun. Thank you so much, ladies, for joining me. And go ahead, for those of you who haven't done so already, go ahead and check out our 21-day love challenge. And we also have the Love Yourself challenge that you can do in 10 minutes or less a day because I know we have some busy women, right? You can go ahead and do that challenge as well. So thank you all for joining us. This has been Unique Couples Sunday Night Live. I am Linda Wright Patrick. Vito is behind the scenes today, but we are so excited to always bring you motivation, inspiration, and more for your relationships and life. So we are so happy to work together, building stronger couples, healthier marriages, and happier families. And it all starts with you. Love you all. Bye.
Good evening.
Bye.
Oh.
Stick around, ladies. Muted.
Okie dokie.